What's going on, guys? Welcome back to week 2 of the BBR. This is going to be the team builder for our match against the Kentucky Toracats, coached by MidPokeMaster, the commissioner of the BBR. So if you guys are excited, go ahead and hit that like button. And before we jump into the team builder, let me just remind you guys, we do have Pigknights merch on sale. We got a blanket. I got one over there. It's really soft. It's super good. It's nice and oversized for a single person at least. And we have these awesome shirts. We have hoodies. We have all sorts of crazy stuff over on that store, link in the description, as well as our regular 3DA merch is there. In addition to that, that's a weird way to say that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are excited about week 2. I'm ready to do some good stuff. We've had 3 league matches between the 2 leagues so far, and spoilers, actually no spoilers, but I'm ready to put in a good showing. I'm hoping we can get a good match in against Mid this week, and let's jump right in and talk about their team. You can see it loading in down below right about now. So MidPokeMaster has got a really good draft this season, and it honestly had me pretty scared. And he's got lots of different modes he can do here, but I'm thinking that we can maybe kind of pick it out and figure out what he's going to do. So first of all, he started the draft with a Melmetal, 200 points, pure Steel type with Iron Fist, so powering up punching type moves. And Melmetal's got a 2-hit move that's 60 base power plus stab plus Iron Fist called Double Iron Bash that can pretty much one-shot our entire team if we're not really careful around it. And so I found myself kind of starting off our team building this week completely focused around Melmetal, but I decided ultimately that wasn't the best choice, but I'm perfectly confident that Melmetal's coming, and we've got some answers for it. So we've also got Salamence and Sylveon rounding out that Fairy Dragon Steel core amazingly. These Pokemon are insane. Sylveon with the Pixelate ability, making its Hyper Voice, making all I think normal type moves, fairy type moves. It makes some fairy type moves. It's very scary, Hyper Voice crazy, super specially bulky. Salamence being a good physical hitter, a good special hitter. He mentioned it in his draft analysis, which, by the way, if you guys are interested in checking him out, make sure you go see his side of the battle and everything else he's got going on. His link is in the description as well. But he mentioned it in his draft analysis as well that his attack and his special attack are now more relevant with Salamence because it gets access to Hurricane and Air Slash. I didn't double check that, but I'm just kind of prepped either way it goes, I hope. So we do have Salamence, which is also super fast. It can't Mega anymore, so it's probably going to be running a Scarf if I had to guess. And its defenses are okay, both at 80, 95 HP, 100 speed, 135 attack, pretty scary. And Dragon Flying typing, it just pairs up super well. It's so hard to hit Melmetal, Salamence, and Sylveon. And Sylveon is like the best cleric in the game right now, in my opinion, and it can heal burns on Melmetal, which was my original strategy, and it kind of had me bummed when I figured it out. But basically, those are his first 3 members of the draft. I absolutely expect him to bring that core almost every week. If he switches it up, honestly, maybe after I figured some things out with our team, maybe he switches it up. But honestly, I'm expecting them, and I think all 3 of them are coming. So getting into the rest of his draft, let's talk about his other 8 Mons real quick. Talk about who else I think is coming. Well, he's picked up Mienshao, the pure fighting type. He's picked up Vikavolt, which has the levitate ability. It's Bug Electric, which is a really good Pokemon as well. Piloswine to save some budget there, obviously, but it's an ice ground type, hits really hard. Our team doesn't particularly like ice or ground, but we have made some trades that we'll get into when I talk about our team here in a second. Moving into the rest of the season after trying to take some lessons from last week against Platinum Howler and the Delta Glygars. But Ice, still not our friend, especially against Landorus, so I kind of feel like Piloswine's a good pick, but we'll see. Quillfish, the water poison type, pretty good Pokemon, surprisingly. Honestly, it does pretty good, even though it's a pretty low tier Pokemon. It's an 80 point tier Pokemon, but I was surprised getting into it. Then we got a Lowland Persian, which is a crazy hard-hitting revenge killer. Pure dark type, super fast, 115 base speed, absolutely insane. Eldegoss is also in here, a pure grass type with Regenerator. It could come because of Regenerator, and it's got 120 special defense, but other than that, I don't really see Eldegoss coming. Oranguru, the normal psychic type. Oranguru is really cool because it's a good Trick Room setter. It's pretty bulky. It's got 110 special defense, 80 regular defense, but also 90 HP and 90 special attack, so it can actually hit. And it can be a Trick Room setter, which is important because Mid's team's actually pretty slow. Its average speed is 69, which is just a hair slower than ours. I think it's 74 or 75. But pretty scary when you consider things like Melmetal and Trick Room could just like I said, one-shot the team. So it's pretty crazy, and we're going to be playing around the option of Oranguru coming as well. And the other cool thing about Oranguru at a 40-point Pokemon is that it also loses its weakness to ground, not ground types, ghost types, because it's a normal psychic type, which is pretty crazy. I think it's the only one as well. And then we have Mudbray, the 20 tier point Pokemon, 20 point tier Pokemon with pure ground. I don't expect Mudbray to come when you got Piloswine right there, and it's, you know, it's the last mon of the draft. They're very situationally relevant here, I think. So week 1, real quick, Mid brought, you can tell if you go to draftleague.com, you can tell what he brought at this point because the stats are up. He brought Melmetal, Salamence, Sylveon, Vikavolt, Quillfish, and Persian. So a good amount of speed there. These are all Pokemon that I expect could come this week. I think alternates could be a Rangaroo or Mienshao, seeing Quillfish, Piloswine, Vikavolt switching out there. So I've kind of prepped for those 9, and that is what we're expecting going into this week. So that Fairy Steel Dragon core. And realistically, I'm kind of expecting Mienshao because it's so fast. I think he's going to want some extra speed for our team, and I think it just does a little bit better than a Alolan Persian. But Alolan Persian could still come. If it comes, it's got Technician, which is scary. It's that powering up ability. 60 power moves and lower get doubled in their power, which is crazy, and Persian hits pretty hard. It's only got 60 attack, but also it's got 115 speed, so it outspeeds pretty much our whole team. Pretty much the whole team. Quillfish, poison types are just nice to have. It's kind of hard to hit, just because it's got good moves for a lot of our Pokemon that can hit it. Piloswine, like I said, Piloswine I'm pretty sure is coming, to be honest with you. Ice type, with Landorus on my team, you expect Landorus to come. I think you bring the Ice type. Because he doesn't have a lot of mons that get Ice type moves, so I think Piloswine just comes. And it's pretty bulky. It gets that, it's probably going to be running Eviolite, which means it's going to have, obviously we can knock that off and lower its defenses, but that'll bring its 80 base defense up to 120 and its 60 base special defense up to up to 90, which is good. 100 HP, 100 attack, pretty slow but pretty good. And it also gets Thick Fat, which means that fire type moves don't do very much to it. I need to confirm what else is affected by Thick Fat, because I think it's more than just fire type moves, but a lot of its several of its weaknesses are covered by that. Yeah, that's really it. Vikavolt might come because of the Levitate, the ground weakness, but he's also got Salamence for that, so it just depends. And that's about it. The good news for us. So let's get into our team. A couple of the trades we made this week. We traded out, we traded several Pokemon. We picked up Rotom Mow for another Pokemon. I'm like forgetting what my original team was already. Hold on, let me get the Discord up, and I will get the trades right in front of me. I feel so bad. I'm so unprofessional right now. Okay, let's go in here. We're going to go to transactions and trades. All right, so we dropped Bisharp for Klefki. We took 1 Steel Dark type, and we got a Steel Fairy type. So now we have 2 Fairy types, but we keep that Steel coverage. Klefki is really cool because it covers that that Poison type weakness of Fairy types, and it also has the because it's a Steel type, and it's pretty defensive. And even though it's not super fast, it gets the Prankster ability, so it can set things like screens or hit Defog with priority, which is just really good. Klefki is going to be a good support mon for us, and it can fire off a Dazzling Gleam if it ever gets the chance. Next up, we dropped Galarian Slowking for Skuntank. So we got that Poison typing back, and we got that Dark typing back from Bisharp. So net types here, we're losing a Psychic type, but we actually still have Xatu, so we still have the Psychic type. So we're actually not really making much trades there at this point. We're 40 points down. Skuntank's got some nice bulk as well and is decently fast. And it's pretty nice. It's got the Psychic immunity for that Poison type, which is really cool. Both of these Pokemon actually have a secondary typing that gives them an immunity to a primary typing weakness, which is really cool. Skuntank also gets Defog. Skuntank hits really hard with some physical Poison type moves, so I'm excited to use that in the future. And then we also dropped a Jolteon for Rotom Mow. I'm really having a hard time getting away from the Rotoms in all my drafts. And that does give us another Grass type, but we also get the Levitate ability, so we're going to lose a ground type weakness there, thankfully. And Rotom Mow, it's truthfully, it's a stat thing. It's a little bit slower, but it's a little bit bulkier. And I was kind of struggling there with the mons I wanted to be offensive weren't bulky enough to get the offense off. And I think I was trying a little too hard to have a team that was different than what I'd had before. And we're really early in our draft league time period here, so let's focus. I'm going to focus from here on out, I think, of trying to learn, trying to get better, but not trying to do that in a way that means I have a team that I'm completely unfamiliar with, because I was kind of playing from way behind the ball already, and I just put myself even further behind trying to learn new Pokemon and how they'd respond to things. So those are our 3 trades for now. I have some ideas about other things that may happen in the future, but for now, that's our swap up here. So we are going to basically swap over here to my type chart, and we're going to talk about who's coming. So like I said earlier, we're 10 minutes in. If you guys are enjoying, thank you so much for sticking around. I will be quick, I promise. We're bringing Landorus Therian. Landorus Therian's just too good, and he's our primary Pokemon that we kind of build around every week, and he does pretty good against Melmetal if he can get hit off, so it just kind of depends. One thing to note about Melmetal is that his speed is really slow, his special defense is garbage, but his physical attack and defense are crazy, and he'll usually be looking to get bulk and HP, but maybe special defense, knowing the kind of team I have this week if he predicts correctly. But with that in mind, we are bringing Landorus. I've actually got the game up right here so we can talk about it. You guys will not see it, but I have him pulled up. So we do have Tiger King, the Landorus here again. This week we are going to be running the Rash Nature on Landorus, which is going to be up in special attack, down in special defense. We're actually running mixed attack Landorus here. And we have relative, I don't think I have any investment in speed. If I do, it's very, very little just to help outspeed a couple of things. I think it was actually to outspeed Vikavolt was the goal. So we do have the Intimidate ability. We have 339 special attack with this build and 388 attack. Obviously going to be brought down. These are level 100 Mons. I don't know if I said this last week. The Mons are all level 100 for EV training and IV training and all that good stuff. But they're brought down to level 50 for this, for the actual battle. So we have the Expert Belt this week to kind of give us that extra hit we need to hit a couple of things pretty hard, but I just wasn't quite ready to commit to Choice Specs because we actually have 2 other Choice Specs users this week, and I wanted to keep a little bit more fluidity, and I didn't want to have Life Orb to hit a little bit harder but lose the HP because I didn't want to be forced to run HP or have Landorus have more of a timer on him. I'm hoping he could do a little bit more this week. This is my new Mon that I know is supposed to be good that I'm still kind of learning about, but he's so good I just have faith. So we're running Earth Power. We're running Earth Power here specifically because this EV spread, being special attacker, means we OHKO Melmetal. If we can get in there, we can get it off. We're also running U-Turn, which means that we're going to be able to get in and out with some offensive momentum, and we're going to it's just nice. We get to move in and out. I don't know that he's really going to, like I said, I don't think Eldegoss is coming, so I don't think U-Turn's going to be super effective, but U-Turn's going to be okay. It's going to give us some offensive momentum that we're going to enjoy here. And that's really all I have to say about U-Turn. Next up, we got Stone Edge. Stone Edge is here as a good alternative for a couple of Pokemon that just really don't want to take it, specifically Salamence and Vikavolt, because I think those are both really likely switches if we can get in on Melmetal. If he's probably expecting, with Melmetal being weak to only a few things, that I'm going to use either Earthquake, somehow Banded Earthquake really, really strong, or some sort of Earth Power kind of set, and try to swap out. So at that point, I would expect him to go to one of his ground weaknesses or one of his ground resists or immunities in Salamence or in Vikavolt, both of which are going to be O-code, or Salamence might live depending on the spread, but I'm pretty darn sure it's going down, and I know Vikavolt's going down to a Stone Edge. I don't typically like to run these 80% accuracy moves. 80 is really the lowest I want to go. You'll notice I don't really like to run Hydro Pump either on Primarina ever. But ultimately, it's just necessary. We need a good Rock type move. There's not a lot. I can't think of any Rock type moves that are high accuracy. They're going to do a lot of damage. So here we are with Stone Edge. Here's hoping it hits. I'm kind of reading the switch depending on what situation we're in, how many of these Pokemon have come in and out. Maybe he's ready for Melmetal to go down, but it just hits too hard to. I can't see him letting it go away. Unfortunately, if he doesn't switch, we're going to have to see what happens there. But I have an answer for that. We're also running Knock Off, which is going to be a 65 base power move that's actually going to, 1.5 times. I think it was 95 base power, maybe 97 if it actually is true half. If they have an item, I'm kind of expecting Choice Band Melmetal. I should say that Choice Band Melmetal is the Melmetal that OHKOs pretty much our whole team if it gets a hit off. So I'm kind of expecting Choice Band, and I'm thinking my safest move if it's early in the match against Melmetal is going to be to knock off and either knock off that band so I live a hit, and then he'll. Yeah, truthfully, I don't know if he might. If I knock off his Choice Band, he's probably going to assume I'm going to kill it at that point and switch. And if not, like I said, we've got these other options to do some stuff. And if he switches, yeah, the Stone Edge could kill 2 of his Pokemon as well. But also, Sylveon does pretty good to take these hits. And so to take an Earth Power hit or take a Stone Edge hit. So I kind of just like Knock Off as a way to get some damage. And if he switches out to something we have an answer to that I think we can outspeed, sure, we go for the move. If not, we U-turn out or we just hard swap. We get the item off of something if it's early. If not, I'm going to probably kind of hard read the switch to something that's going to resist ground and hit with the Stone Edge, but Stone Edge is also a pretty common move on Landorus, so I'm being careful with it. That is an early thing. Only other things I have to say about Landorus is that it is done to outspeed max speed Vikavolt and Sylveon, which will be nice if we get caught fighting those Pokemon. Landorus does okay against Vikavolt, but I don't really want to throw it out against Sylveon. It's just if we have to. Next up, let's go ahead and back out of this move screen. We're bringing Jailer, the Klefki, this week. Brand new member of our team, bringing it completely. It's funny, I said last week I was too offensive, so here we are with the Prankster Klefki this week. We're going to be running the gosh darn Bold Nature, which is going to be up and defense, down and attack. And we actually have only one attacking move on Klefki. We're bringing Dazzling Gleam just for something to hit with, because I don't feel like Light Screen is going to be very useful, and we're going to see a lot of stuff in here. For stuff like that. So we have a Toxic and Reflect also in this set. They're going to be Prankster, Toxic, and Reflect, so we can fire off a Toxic if we think we can get around that Melmetal to poison something, and we're going to have that Reflect. Almost certainly, unless his team really surprises me at Team Preview, this is going to be our dedicated lead. Get that Reflect up. We're running the Light Clay so that we get we'll have a move go down, and then we'll hard swap most likely. So we'll have 6 moves of Reflect left to hopefully get that thing out there, live a hit, and take it out if we need to, or figure out what kind of things we can do. A lot of his team likes to hit physically unless he switches it up, so I'm expecting at least likes to hit physically, so I'm just thinking the Reflect is going to be super valuable, and not a lot of Pokemon can really hit Jailer very hard. I originally thought about running Shukaberry, so that way even if Piloswine comes out, we know we take almost no damage. We go for the Pranks to Reflect. We have the Shukaberry. We only take like 15%. But ultimately, I decided that having more Reflect was going to be more important than less damage on Klefki. We also have Spikes here, so we can set up. It's going to be our setup person that's setting up this week. I'd love to get Rocks up to just help with Salamence, because I know we Oko Salamence after Rocks if we hit with the Stone Edge from Landorus, but I just didn't want to take that chance this week. And so we have Spikes. I think Spikes also gets priority. I'll probably double check before the match. It's not status, so maybe not, but so we have Reflected Toxic with priority. We have Dazzling Gleam for some nice stab fairy damage, and we have Spikes to get some things set up. I don't think that mid has a lot of good clearance here. Hazard removal wise, he could run Rapid Spin Eldegoss or Defog Salamence. He could run Defog Salamence, but it just seems so, I don't know. That might actually be a good idea for him, because then he could, if he tries to defog me on Stone Edge Landorus, that could make it really hard to hit. But it's going to cost him a turn on a very high offensive Pokemon. So that's kind of my thought process there. And that's Jailer. Next up, we're bringing Doc the Xatu this week. Psychic Flying type with the Bold Nature. Again, up defense, down and attack. Magic Bounce ability, so if they try to set up on us or anything like that, status moves get bounced back at them, which is amazing. And outside of that, we're running the heavy duty boots so we can come in to clear some hazards if they do decide to set up hazards on us. We are running Defog on Xatu, who is decently quick to come in and just kind of take them out and get out. So let's talk about his hazards real quick on his team. We do have Spikes from Quillfish. I believe Toxic Spikes also from Quillfish would be terrible for us. Sticky Webs from Vikavolt. That's one thing I kind of expect Vikavolt as well to come, because it can get the webs up. And it could be a nice early lead to get the webs up and slow our team down. Which again is why I have Klefki with Prankster for some priority against clearancing things. And we also get Stealth Rocks on Mudbray and Piloswine. So he could have a potential to have a lot of things like that on his team. I did try to make us a little bit less weak to that with these trades, and we'll just have to see how it breaks down. So again, Defog, Heavy Boots, Xatu. We're running lots of investment in defense and HP just to try to live, because that Melmetal can come in and brick things. So I, physically defensive here. With the Reflect, hoping it works out for us. We're 226 in speed, so we're going to outspeed a lot of things on his team. This Xatu will outspeed Quillfish and Sylveon. We do have a little bit of investment for that. It outspeeds Quillfish and Sylveon, and Oko's Mienshao and Quillfish if it can get a hit off. I don't think we actually outspeed. I think I miswrote that. I don't think we outspeed Quillfish, but we outspeed Sylveon. We can live a hit from the Quillfish. We have lots of HP here, obviously, with max HP investment. Psychic's going to Oko Mienshao and Quillfish. Vikavolt's going to Oko us with Volt Switch, so we want to get the heck out if Vikavolt comes in. And that's Xatu. Xatu's running also Wish to help get some HP back on some Pokemon, which also calculates off of Xatu's HP stat itself. So with that being 334 HP at this one level 100 with the max HP, that's why we're running that. We have Trick Room here for anti-Trick Room if Oranguru comes. It's going to be sad if it doesn't come because I'm wasting that move here on Doc that could have given it U-turn or something more nice there, like Shadow Ball maybe for some extra coverage, some special defense drops. But ultimately, I felt like I had to run counter Trick Room because if he gets a Trick Room up and I don't get it gone, we're just dead with this team. And I think that's just true with Melmetal. I think you have to run counter Trick Room against mid or you're not going to do well this season. And that might be naive. We'll see how it plays out. And Psychic's there for the stab. Like I said, it gets rid of some powerful threats like Scarf Mienshao and Quillfish, which is just nice to get it out of there because Quillfish actually I think might live in Earth Power because it's only Expert Belt Lando. So that's that. So that's Doc the Xatu. Next up, we're bringing Hot Tea, the awesome Heatmore. I almost called it a Heat Ran. I get them mixed up. So we're bringing Hot Tea, the Heatmore with the Pure Fire typing and the Flash Fire ability. So we're going to have a ability to power ourselves up if he brings a Fire type move and we read it correctly. We're also bringing Specs this week. Choice Specs on Hot Tea just to get that extra damage in there. We're running the Timid Nature to keep our speed up a little bit, but I actually really don't have any speed investment in this. And that's going to also bring our attack down, but we're running Special Heatmore, if you couldn't tell by the specs. So we're running Flamethrower, Sucker Punch, Scorching Sands, Knockoff. I accidentally just left my screen in the game while I'm reading it to you guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. Scorching Sands and Knockoff. So obviously Sucker Punch and Knockoff are physical moves, but ultimately our attack is still okay at 207. You know, I maybe could have gone away from defense or something, but our defense is kind of low. It's 169 naturally. Didn't really want to do that. Our special defense, and I believe we have a little bit of EVs in defense as well. Yeah, checking that out, we have nearly max defense, a little bit in speed, max special attack. So Flamethrower is going to do amazing things for us with Heatmore. Heatmore is going to outspeed uninvested Sylveon, outspeeds Piloswine. Piloswine OHKOs with EQ, so we want to hit it hard. It's going to be basically a suicide if we stay in, but we can do a lot of damage with Flamethrower there. And we OHKO Vikavolt, and we outspeed Max Vikavolt. We also OHKO Mienshao with Flamethrower, and we live a Scarfed Close Combat, which is crazy. And we also OHKO Melmetal, and obviously we outspeed Melmetal. If we have a Banded Mienshao, that's going to be different, or potentially a Life Orb could be bad. It's really just going to be kind of a roll, but Heatmore's not here as the primary for Mienshao. It was just worth noting that this Specs Max Special Flamethrower does a lot. Sucker Punch is there for the priority. Scorching Sands is going to be there if we get stuck in against the Quillfish, just something to get off there. Something else as an option if we somehow get disabled on Flamethrower and we're stuck against Melmetal. Just things like that, especially with a 30% chance to burn. And then Knockoff just to get some extra items out of the way without having to use Landorus for it. Second to last, we're also bringing Rose the Virizion. Rose because it's a shiny Virizion. And Rose is going to be coming with the Justified ability. If we get hit with a Dark-type move, it's going to boost our attack by a stage. We're running the Life Orb on Virizion this week with the Naive Nature, which is going to be up in speed, down in special defense. We're not here to take a lot of hits. We're here to do a lot of damage. So we have some good amount of HP investment, really good special attack investment, and some speed investment. And we're running the moves Close Combat, Focus Blast, Synthesis, and Leaf Storm. We are a mixed attacker this week, but Focus Blast is just kind of going to be one of our other Melmetal answers, as well as some other just general Pokemon. If we get in a situation where we have to rely on this, we have to do it to get that special side on Melmetal or anything else that might need to be hit specially. So Focus Blast is just the best I could do. It's a 70% type move, but once I figured out that Sylveon was going to obviously cure all the burns off of Melmetal, that was not a reliable strat, and my only other idea was Focus Sash Virizion, and that was assuming there's no defense or not a lot of HP on Melmetal, and then we Close Combat twice. Bad times. So we have Close Combat because our attack here is still 216, our special attack's 279. We have Synthesis because we're running really high HP, so we can get 50% of our health back there, which gives us obviously 5 extra turns of Life Orb damage, because in case you guys don't know, if you're not doing damage, Life Orb does not take health from you, so that's pretty nice. Might also be a decent trade if it did, but it also powered up your healing moves. You know, it just kind of depends on the way you're looking at it. So anyway, some notes about Virizion. It's going to lose to Scarf Mienshao unless it's near full health, and then it's going to OHKO with Leaf Storm, I believe. And but it's a lot, where it's like it has a chance to do up to like 95% of our health, so not the best idea. It's also going to outspeed non-scarf Salamence. That's what my speed EVs are for here, just barely. It's like 1 point outspeeding non-scarf Salamence. We don't do a lot of damage to it, but I just thought if we get trapped and we have Virizion and Salamence left, obviously Salamence is probably going to win, but if it doesn't have a lot of damage, let's outspeed it a little bit, or if it doesn't have a lot of health, let's outspeed it, give it a try. So that's my kind of plan there. We're most likely slower than a Alolan Persian, but we could be faster. And we're going to 2-hit KO a Rangaroo, but Psyshock's doing 95% to us as well. Like I said, Focus Blast on Melmetal is amazing. Leaf Storm's going to hit some stuff pretty hard. Leaf Storm's going to OHKO. Piloswine. And some just good answers there. And that's Rose this week. And lastly, we're bringing Ballerini the Primarina with the Modest Nature up special attack down attack, Torrent ability powering up water type moves at low health, and the choice specs as well. So that's going to give us 386 special attack and 301 special defense with our EVs. We are EV'd in special defense, special attack, and a tiny bit in speed. Just to help us kind of outspeed a couple of things. We're running Surf this week, 90 special attack base power stab, Moonblast stab 95, might lower special attack, which would be sick. Ice Beams here, so hopefully we can get out there and lift something from our boy Salamence and just one-shot him with Ice Beam or Moonblast. They both do great. And then we have Flip Turn for momentum. If we get out there or we do some kind of offensive kind of push out of a Pokemon like Salamence. Salamence probably is not staying in on a Primarina, so we Flip Turn. And just, try to get in something good. He's probably... truthfully, you'd probably bring in Quillfish if you got it. Maybe you might bring in Melmetal, because Melmetal's obviously one-shotting this. It's neutral, so... And my regular defense is not very good, so... You do that, maybe we get a hard swap out to Landorus or to Virizion or to Heatmore, and we can give it a try for that, or get a little bit of damage off a Flip Turn, which would be amazing. So that's the idea there. A couple of notes on Primarina before we leave. It's got 30 speed EVs to try and break a speed tie with Sylveon. I think that puts it right above 0 in speed investment Sylveon, like 1 point above. We're going to outspeed 160 EV or lower Vikavolt if we have to. Again, I don't know why we would stay in on that, but if we have to, we do. Primarina is also EV to take a max of 95 damage from Quillfish, max attack Poison Jab, assuming, no Life Orb or Band or anything like that. Usually Quillfish is not offensive, but if it is, that's just what I'm thinking of. It's going to take a minimum of 79, so 79 to 95 in that case, but then we can kill it with, I think Moonblast kills it. Something we have kills Quillfish, though. Again, it's not a primary matchup, so we don't want to do that. But that's the team this week. So again, we're bringing Landorus, Therian, Primarina, Virizion, Klefki, Xatu, and Heatmore. Let me know what you guys think of the squad down in the comments below. Hit the like button if you're excited. Battle's going up this Saturday. And yeah, let's check it out. We got merch, we got other socials, we got mid, we got BBR all down in the description. Make sure you guys check that out. We have a playlist on the channel if you missed week 1 or the draft analysis. And we have another league going on as well right now. So there's lots of stuff going on. Streams are hopefully coming back soon. It's just the house movement has been really busy. We're still working on some projects. As of recording this, we're actually renovating our bathroom starting this weekend, so that's going to be crazy. And that's that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys back here for the battle.